This is my apartment, my home, my studio here in Seattle. Speaking from my own experience, I often have to think twice about how I'm going to communicate with someone in any environment I step into. Sometimes I choose to do something online rather than dealing with all of those other aspects that are just so exhausting in person. I sometimes say it's like twice the amount of work for us deaf people. My name is Sami. I work for Starbucks. I'm a barista and an access advocate. This is Momo, my love. Love you. I grew up in two different worlds. My family's hearing, but there's also the deaf community. And I want both of those worlds to become one.
Historically, things were built from an engineering perspective without really considering who had to use them and whether or not they were usable. The Americans with Disabilities Act was passed in 1990. The idea of it is it allows for full participation for disabled persons in the United States. The driving force of my work is occupational justice. The workplace needs to be accessible and inclusive for people with disabilities. About 80% of people with disabilities are unemployed, but many of our disabled populations want to be employed. And the reasons why they haven't been able to access work are typically barriers that can be removed by a design. Inclusion and exclusion are embedded into products and systems by design. This feeling of being completely excluded by your built environment. Ideally, we would also have people who have that disability or that lived experience on the design team.
I work in the Trier Center, and I am a partner with Starbucks. When I sign Starbucks partner, I really mean Starbucks employee. Everything that you're seeing that is at Starbucks, these products, technologies, the food, they start at the Trier Lab. It's an innovation lab, and my role is to improve accessibility for the partners and the customers. Seeing all these things that are missing, it gives me an opportunity to reach out and give perspectives and to share my frustrations and my experiences as a deaf partner. This is the register, and I use this for training because it's a source of a lot of frustration. As part of the training, we had a hearing partner over here who acted like a deaf customer on this side of the counter, and then another hearing partner over here trying to put an order in. So I wanted to show two different perspectives. My goal for the training was to give them the feeling of sensory deprivation from our communication, our technology, and it makes them more empathetic. They'll bring that empathy to their stores, and when they get to the stores, they'll see a deaf customer come in, and they'll be like, okay, we're ready. We all benefit from the diversity of ideas. More diverse teams come up with more creative solutions. People often believe that it's too hard or too expensive to build in access, but it's actually far more cost-effective to think about things like inclusion and usability at the beginning stages than it is to try to build it in afterwards when you've learned that something is not usable. Just because something is intended for a disabled user, it can also improve access for everyone. A curb cut was originally designed for wheelchair users, but it's also really great if you're pushing a baby stroller or you're delivering packages. A rising tide lifts all ships. It's really amazing to see Starbucks invest in a signing store that's by and for people who are deaf. There's so many corporations that would never give that much focus towards a community like mine. And as a deaf partner, I'm just so proud. I'm so excited for our deafblind community to see that level of inclusion. But even though there's a signing store, it's not one and done. We need to see more inclusion.
It's really important that we learn to advocate for each other. The creation of an inclusive space requires all of us. And it's not that hard to do. It just requires a little bit of effort to say, what does it look like for you to feel included in this space?
Don't be afraid to come up and talk to us. My manager, Marshall, is the reason why I started working in the Trier Center. He's an amazing advocate. All he did was ask me, what can make things easier for you? Not only that, he put forth an effort to learn some sign language. He made the effort to understand me as an individual.
Things take time, and we have to just keep working towards the world that we want. We talk so much about assistive technology as if it's only a thing that disabled people need, but all of us have ways that we need support in order to be our best selves at work, at home, right, in our communities.
This is not about me. This is about everybody else. Inclusivity with my deaf-blind community, the deaf community, deaf-disabled people, and how that impacts you guys to make our future become more connected. I want that feeling. I want to see that happen in the world.